why are you saying we shouldn't go for at least some limit here? And then also, is your plan to actually move some kind of legislative vehicle? We know HR2 is what you want, but to actually get something done that can pass through Congress, is your plan essentially just to wait till the election and hope that Republicans win?
No, we've been aggressively pushing to secure the border every single day of this Congress. Since the Republicans took the majority, we've been working on it every day.
But with what legislation?
We have pieces of HR2 that will be advancing, but the problem is we already know it's not a lawmaking exercise. If the Senate Democrats and the White House were interested in solving the border, we could have done this a long time ago. Limits are fine, but it's not going to solve the problem. It is not going to solve the problem. January 3rd of this year, we took 64 Republicans, House Republicans, down to the border at Eagle Pass, and it was the largest congressional trip ever to the border, and we talked with the people in charge. We visited the processing centers. At the time, Eagle Pass was the epicenter. They cleaned it up and changed the routes after we showed up down there, but they were allowing so many people in, it was a countless number, and what they told us there was, they said, I've said this in this room before, the deputy chief of Border Patrol, a 33-year veteran of the agency, said, "We don't need more buckets, we need to stop the flow." He said, "It's as if I'm having to administer an open fire hydrant." Who opened the fire hydrant? Joe Biden did. They knocked the cap right off of that thing, and it's been flowing ceaselessly for 3.5 years plus. Our estimate is that there's at least 10, 12 million, maybe as many as 16 or 17 million illegals have come across the border in that time. Where do we get that number? The DHS numbers, the official numbers, are over 10 million now, and they count over 3 million, I think, known gotaways, but we don't know how many people came in totally undetected, because we know there are wide sections of the border that are not adequately protected. At Eagle Pass, they told us 60 to 70% of the people who came through there were single adult males between the ages of 18 and 45 of military capability. These are not huddled masses of families seeking refuge and asylum. These are people coming in probably to do us harm. It doesn't take a big stretch of the imagination to do it. Look, Joe Biden knows all this. He knows it. If he would just reinstate Remain in Mexico, that would reduce the flow by 70%. He will not even consider it. He will not even consider it. Mexico just got a new president elected. Now would be a great time to reestablish some boundaries here to do this. Joe Biden won't even consider it. Why? Because they actually want the border open, and that's why we're so frustrated about it. Yes, sir.
Speaker Johnson, I haven't seen anything about any Republicans planning on boycotting Netanyahu's address when it happens. Do you think that Senator Schumer, Congressman Jeffries are going to encourage Democrats to attend, and what do you make of the number of Democrats who are potentially going to boycott it when it happens?
I was on a Sunday show, Fox News Sunday this weekend, and they played a tape of Bernie Sanders, Senator Bernie Sanders, who said terrible things about Prime Minister Netanyahu and said that he would boycott the address. So be it. I made the point. Bernie Sanders has taken the side. He was parroting the talking points of Hamas and the Ayatollah in Iran. This is a time to choose a side. If Bernie Sanders wants to side with the terrorists, that's so be it. And if other Democrats want to do that, it's on them. But I'm telling you, I pray and hope and expect that most of the members of the House of both parties and the Senate will join us for this historic address. It's really important for us to hear directly from the Prime Minister of Israel at this pivotal moment in history. We need to hear his take and his account of what's happening there, and I think it'll be a very important thing. We need to show bipartisan support for our closest ally in the Middle East for all the obvious reasons. It's the only stable democracy there, and we've got to allow them to prosecute this war so that peace can be brokered back in the region. And I think it's really important for everybody to come, and even if you have misgivings about it, come and listen. I mean, this is a really important moment for the Congress, and I was told that, I was reminded that it will be an historic address for Prime Minister Netanyahu. He'll be the first foreign head of state to address the Congress 4 times. The record is a tie right now between he and I think Winston Churchill, maybe one other. But you know, this is a historic moment, a historic event, and I think and I hope that it will be bipartisan in the approach. I certainly do.
No Republicans skipping it?
No Republicans will skip it. I guarantee you that. Certainly not intentionally, barring some health event or something. To Scott.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As you know, Hunter Biden, the president's only surviving son, is being criminally prosecuted right now in a Delaware court. Given that, do you think that that's proof that there is not a double standard, as you say, in the criminal justice system?
No, I don't think one case proves that at all. We have rogue prosecutors around the country that have drugged President Trump through this process because of who he is. Everybody knows if it wasn't him, the charges in Manhattan would never have been brought, and they would not be dragging this out as they are and seeking potentially prison term and all of that. Everybody acknowledges that. Legal experts on both sides of the aisle acknowledge that. Nor would these other cases have been brought. The classified documents case. I mean, still, no one's gone after President Biden for his abuses with classified documents, which was more and more locations and all the rest. Look, it doesn't matter what they do to orchestrate or try to put window dressing on this. The American people can see right through it. The American people are intelligent, and they understand intuitively what's happening here, and they see a two-tiered system, and they see that President Trump is being targeted for who he is because he is soon to be the official nominee of one of the two main parties in the country. He's the opponent of the president, and so the president and his Department of Justice have, participated in this, given it a pat on the back, and endorsed all of this stuff that's happening against him. And Democrats cheered when the verdict came down. I mean, it's just blatantly on display for everybody. So I think that's what's frustrating the American people. I think they've had enough of it, and I think there's going to be a reckoning on November 5th about this. As President Trump rightfully said, the main verdict that matters is the one that the people render in the election, and that can't get here soon enough. Thank you all for the time this morning.
Thank you, sir.
I know, we're twins. We should have just sat next to each other to like blind everybody else.
You got a Montreal? Maybe next year.
I will definitely be. I am trying to figure out.
Just RSVP for yourself. Or
My friends will have.
yeah, you okay, that's fine. Just RSVP trying to buy trying to order for us. Be close to 100%.
This is July. You had barbecue.
We have patience. We still have for all the kids down. I think it'd be Willis is being. It's a final blowout for me.